Rural America, already hobbled by a trade war and COVID-19, has been enduring a series of droughts, fires, and hurricanes. Over the past 3 months, the state of Louisiana has found itself in the path of 5 hurricanes, of which 3 have heavily pummeled Pelican State commodities.
I've got 757,000 acres of timber that's destroyed, 20 million tons of debris on the ground.
According to the Louisiana Department of Agriculture and Forestry, Hurricane Laura, one of the strongest hurricanes to strike the state in 150 years, caused close to $500 million in damage to the timber crop.
Then you get Delta right on its heels, comes in, and it comes back in the same track. And so those timber damages now are going to be probably direct damage, $1.5 billion, overall damage, to the timber industry, probably pushing $2 billion. And then you add to it the additional ag damages, probably around $750 million to $1 billion. So we're probably now looking at $3 billion just for those 2 storms.
The lumber industry injects approximately $3.6 billion in revenue into the state's economy. Hurricanes Laura and Delta hit at a vulnerable time in Louisiana's cotton production, where the bolls for this year's crop were open.
We have the Laura numbers. We don't have Delta yet. We'll have that pretty soon. But it's probably going to end up affecting, 70, 80,000 acres with a 12 to 15% yield loss.
And this week, Hurricane Zeta came ashore in southeastern Louisiana as a Category 2 hurricane, further adding to agricultural losses. Hurricane-force winds also struck the Midwest on August 10th of this year as a derecho, or straight-line windstorm, brought Category 1 hurricane conditions to 7 Midwestern states. In Iowa alone, wind speeds of 106 miles an hour flattened what was expected to be a record corn crop. Iowa Agricultural Secretary Mike Negg spoke with Market to Market shortly after the August storm, and this week gave us an update on the state's recovery.
As we've gone through the fall months here, we've started to see that number of acres tick up, acres that were not harvested. And, that started around 500,000, crept up to 800,000. I think we will absolutely be near 1 million acres that did not get harvested because it was zeroed out due to derecho damage. And you go out and you see what's happening. You see what it takes to go drive one direction across the field at 1.5 miles per hour, and you've got a lot of work ahead of you, and you're tearing up equipment along the way. That is a tough thing to have to go through.
The storm started in South Dakota and spread across 770 miles of the entire Corn Belt, damaging or destroying crops on 14 million acres. It left tens of thousands of metropolitan areas without power as they began to dig out in the wake of the storm. The full impact of the rare storm on agriculture has yet to be revealed.
There will be agronomic issues that have to be dealt with because of that corn, volunteer corn. There's going to be a number of things that folks have to be thinking about in terms of seed selection and chemistry selection, and even some of their tillage choices, whether to use a cover crop or not. Those are all things that farmers have needed to be dealing with and thinking about as they've harvested this crop.
The storm also destroyed nearly 60 million bushels of grain storage capacity that has added roughly $7.5 billion to the damage totals. Out west, wildfires have scorched millions of acres across Washington, Oregon, and California.
Now we've burned over 4 million acres of land, which is more than double our previous high. And pretty soon it feels like there's nothing left to burn, but unfortunately there is.
In August, a heat wave brought high winds and lightning storms to Northern California, sparking numerous wildfires in the Bay Area. As many as 11,000 lightning strikes sparked more than 300 fires. In the following weeks, those places moved at unprecedented speeds across the region. According to the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection, more than 8,600 fires have consumed more than 4 million acres statewide. Significant damage has been done to one of the Golden State's most lucrative commodities. time may have run out for grape growers across wine country in Sonoma and Napa counties.
I think the most urgent need right now, which we share with Oregon and Washington this year, is smoke taint issues have come up in fires 2 years ago before, but it was very isolated because those fires came at our normal time for fires, which is October, November. Our fires this year started in August, so we had grapes sitting in smoke and new smoke for an extended period of time, which is why you'll see in Sonoma, they estimate 30% of their grapes won't even be picked because of how long those grapes sat in smoke and the smoke taint issues that are associated with that.
According to Napa Valley vintners, wine production contributed $34 billion to the nation's economy in 2019.
Different members were impacted.
Ryan Klobus, CEO of the Napa County Farm Bureau, says problems for grape growers have only compounded since the start of the 2020 fire season.
We've had a number of members reach out to us saying that they are unable to sell their grapes this year. They don't know how they're going to proceed in terms of what they're going to do. And, really it comes down to, do they have crop insurance? Do they not? You may be able to qualify for federal assistance, but only 60% of people in Napa have crop insurance.
CAL FIRE has spent more than $2 billion fighting fires across the state this year, and insurance companies have already passed the $10 billion level in damage estimates. For Market to Market, I'm John Torpy.